Hi everyone, it's Jakey again, and we're back for part 2 of the Empyrean armor review. For this one, we're focusing on sort of closer to pure DPS jobs, and the last part's going to be more multi-role jobs. Um, this is a relatively arbitrary distinction. No point am I stating that the other jobs aren't also DPS jobs. I just needed a way to split the jobs in roughly thirds, and this is what I went with. So first we have Dragoon, one of my favorite jobs. Looking at the +1 set, the body, of course, really nice TP body, just lacking in accuracy and attack right now. So we expect with proper stats, this should be a very solid TP piece. The legs have amazing critical hit damage, so you boost that a bit more, give them some proper stats. Keep in mind the spirit and soul jump that it gives a bonus to are also auto crit. So if you're just trying to do damage with your jumps, these could be quite good for that. Again, once they get some proper stats. The hands currently used for spirit link, but have some double attack, so could certainly see these being made into something decent. And the feet have a spirit jump bonus. I'd love to see that become an all jump bonus. Maybe make these into the primary jump feat for Dragoon. Uh, Otherwise, I do use them, but exclusively for spirit jump, which isn't the greatest. Uh, Head, I'd kind of like to see a TP piece made out of this because you've got the absorb damage for your Wyvern. Anytime we can improve Wyvern survivability is a nice bonus. Okay, and here's what we got. The head got weapon skill damage. I will have to run the numbers as to if it beats out our current weapon skill damage head with Niame, but yeah, I mean, it would not be shocked if it sneaks into some weapon skill sets. Of course, that means we do not get to take advantage of the absorb damage taken for your Wyvern at all. The body, we got one more store TP, and now we've got proper accuracy and attack. And then they gave it PDL with no DT. So, uh, this makes for a nice glass cannon TP body. But obviously without any DT on it, it's a little problematic there. PDL is less than Gleddy's body, so probably not weapon skilling in it. At least not right now. Also, you don't get the double attack of Gleddy's. So, yeah, the PDL is going to go largely to waste, but I still think you'll end up using the body for certain scenarios just for having such high store TP. Oh, I should talk for a second about the Grant's food effect for your Wyvern. Uh, did do some testing a while back. If you use food that also gives a bonus to your pet, the body doesn't do anything. It only affects foods that only affect you. So, uh, you can't double up and give your pet like double food, like I was hoping. Anyways, the hands, a little bit better for spirit link than it was before. The double attacks are now +6, which is decent. And they give it 10 DT, which is a lot. Biggest problem here, I think, is just that I really like the Gleddy hands. You get the Wyvern DT in them as well. But hey, if you want a double attack hands, this looks like a straight up upgrade to the Solevia hands from Ambuscades. So uh, there's that. And 10 DT is a lot on the hands. I I could imagine using these hands actually to help make up for the lack of DT on the body from here. But it's not like it's not going to be super exciting. It's just that it's a lot of DT for the hands, so that can be useful. And you still have a reasonable stat line for a TP piece. The legs, so we got even more spirit and soul jump attack. One more critical hit damage. 12 DT. You still wouldn't want a TP in this. it would be for crit weapon skills, which is Drake's Bane, as well as any weapon skill with uh, Shining One. Will it necessarily? I, I think it'll probably get into most Shining One weapon skills actually at this stat line. 12 crit damage is a lot. You've got really good accuracy and attack on it, high strength. Yeah, yeah. I suspect this will get into most Shining One weapon skills, and almost certainly in your Drake's Bane weapon skill set. Uh, DT for weapon skill set, it's nice to have, but it's not exactly a high priority. Uh, would have been way more exciting if they had swapped the DT on these legs with the PDL on the body. That would have been much, much better, but maybe too good. And Dragoon is in a fine spot, so it's not like we really need this set to get us somewhere. Uh, Feet, it's still just for Spirit Jump, but they did boost it even more, so now there's even more reason to keep an extra piece around just for Spirit Jump. 10 DT. I mean, I think this piece is only used for Spirit Jump. Although at 10 DT, maybe it sneaks into some DT sets because that might let you get away with using something better somewhere else. Just because that's a lot of DT for a feat. Although I think the hands accomplish that better than the feet here, because at least the hands have double attack. Okay, and then oh yeah, we've got like really really good earring here. 9 PDL on the earring. A lot of the DD jobs got 9 PDL earrings. They're all broken. Like these are really really good earrings. I guess looking at the other stats here, 7 subtle blow and wyvern level +1. Those stats obviously don't really help you much with your weapon skill, but as having recently had to make a subtle blow set for my Dragoon for some of the Odyssey bosses, I sure would have liked having a 7 subtle blow earring back when I had to make those. So that's great. There are certainly some uses for that, and Wyvern level +1. Sure, I mean it doesn't really matter. Wyvern is not really close to being very meaningful in terms of damage, so giving another level doesn't do much, but it's something, and it's like a Dragoon unique thing, so sure, whatever. Overall, Dragoon set is decent. The magic evasion is once again a little on the lacking side. Really would have liked to have like some better TP pieces with high magic evasion and DT. Having to TP so often in my Niame Path B just for magic evasion is a little frustrating, so a little disappointed that we didn't kind of fix those issues here, but it is what it is. Okay, so we got Dark Knight. Most of these pieces are currently used, but they're used for very specific purposes. I expect those purposes will be further boosted. So like the body you use for Dread Spikes, the legs you use for Nether Void, the hands you use for Absorb TP, the feet for Occult Alchemy. I expect all those will be improved. Important here as well, they'll probably finally have like decent magic accuracy and stuff, which will help for several of the spells you cast with these. Beyond that, I mean, they'll probably give weapon skill damage to something. They'll probably throw a bunch of DT on pieces. Actually, that would be nice on the body because cast Dread Spikes and a lot of plus damage taken. So throw a little bit of minus DT on there to help counter that. That would be nice. Here's what we got. So I guess I'll just go through it. The head, we got 5 double attack now with 7 PDL. This is actually a very interesting stat line. So I don't think we're going to TP in this at all because you're competing with the Sekpada helm and the Flamma helm. I don't think it beats either of those in basically any scenario. So then we're looking at weapon skills. when looking at weapon skills, the Sakpada helm has the same double attack, but a little bit less physical damage limit. The double attack damage doesn't matter for weapon skills. And this also has a slightly better stat line in terms of strength and stuff. So this almost certainly beats out Sakpada Helm for weapon skills. Now, I'm not necessarily using Sakpada Helm for weapon skills, but usually for, like, I think my torque lever set right now is like 2 pieces of Sakpada, 3 pieces of Nyame. And the Sakpada is there basically for the PDL, and this gives more PDL than the Sakpada Helm. So maybe I use this instead of one of the Sakpada pieces, and swap around and get a little bit more weapon skill damage with Nyame. Yeah, I would not be surprised if this gets into actually a lot of your weapon skill sets at this stat line. So, and obviously when it goes +3, it'll be quite good. Okay, next we have the body. They did give the body DT perfect, and they increased the dread spikes potency even more. Hands improved absorb TP even more. DT, I mean, I think you're only using these hands for casting absorb TP, but you know, having DT when you're casting is nice. It's not that big of a deal, but it's something. Hands or legs, excuse me. Nether Void being stronger is really good. You also improved the dark magic skill. So yeah, these are really nice for casting Nether Void. Again, having something you wear in your casting with more DT on it is nice. The feet, they put the weapon skill damage on the feet. I don't know if that'll beat out Nyame. I'd have to actually sit down and run numbers on that. It's going to be close. I'm leaning towards Nyame is probably better overall, since the strength and int and mind don't look amazing on these. Or the vitality for that matter. Dark has a lot of different stats to look at depending which weapon skills you want to look at. But here's the thing, it has 45 MAB. So I think for any elemental weapon skill, which I mean is not Dark Knight's strong point, but it's a good utility to have. This is probably going to be your best elemental weapon skill piece. And by +3, it'll definitely get into a bunch of weapon skills at +3. And then the earring. Oh, this is like perfect stat line for an earring. 9 PDL with 20 attack. So it helps give you the attack you need to make use of the PDL. You know, with these 9 PDL earrings, we might start to see. So like right now, for a lot of weapon skills for like max attack builds, you'll run like a mix of PDL and weapon skill, especially for like front loaded or one hit weapon skills. And having such high PDL earrings, I think, will shift more towards, you know, maybe you use one less PDL piece of armor so you can run more weapon skill damage, and then you just use the earring. And it also might shift us towards having like multiple tiers of like a max attack set, and then I'm really max attacked set, just because most of the time, I mean, especially Dark Knight has so much PDL available to them that unless you're really zeroing out your enemy's defense, you just can't use the massive amount that's available now. At least, you know, not all the time. So there'll definitely be room for multiple sets now. Okay, here we have Monk. The body, of course, widely used already, even with its poor stats, just because the impetus bonus is just insane. Up to 50% crit damage when impetus is up, which is already giving you up to 50% crit rate. That it's just insane. So when this actually has proper accuracy and attack, that'll be very helpful. Almost doesn't matter what else they put on it. It's because it's already so widely used. It's just making things better. Other than that, The legs, I think, have a ton of potential. Because they've already got 20 kick attack and 8 store TP. I would probably already be using them if they had some reasonable stat lines in terms of accuracy and attack, and maybe some defensive stats. The feet, I'd like to see footwork plus 15 to at least match the current best footwork shoes, and then hopefully the plus 3 will then be the best footwork shoes, and going beyond that. The kick attack, I I really doubt it's gonna get to the best slot there because it's what 110 or something on the AF, so I don't think they're gonna double it. So I think the biggest hope with the feet is, can you at least match the current best for footwork? But we'll see. And here's what Monk got. Going through it in order, the head, they gave it DT, and they improved the perfect counter attack. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be used other than maybe as a pure DT piece. The body, they gave it weapon skill damage. Weapon skill damage is not the greatest for hand-to-hand weapons, but it's still damage, and you're still going to be using this with impetus up, especially for victory smite. So sure, it's fine. Oh, I did check the martial arts tiers for the Aeonic, Empyrean, and Relic hand-to-hands. Going from the +6 martial arts on the +1 to the +7 on the +2 does not cost you an additional TP per hit on any of those. Although the God Hands is only one more away, so the +3 will probably end up costing you an extra TP per hit if you're using God Hands. However, God Hands martial arts is not capped yet, so you are still gaining attack speed from it. So it's not a complete loss, at least, and not something we have to worry about right now. Hands. This is an interesting stat line. You've got 7 PDL, and Monk doesn't have access to a ton of PDL right now. So would not be shocked if this ends up getting into a decent number of their weapon skills. It's the clear winner for Asuryan Fists, since multi-attack doesn't do anything for those. But it's going to be a much tougher sell on the rest. I think it'll still get into a lot of those weapon skills, though, just because you do lack PDL on Monk, and 7 is a decent amount. But it'll get a lot better at the +3, that's for sure. Oh, these legs. These legs are perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay, so they gave him 5 more kick attacks. In fact, probably the biggest problem with these legs is you're going to be overcapping your kick attack when footwork's up. So then you have to think about, is there a slot you want to drop kick attacks on? Because you got probably more than you need at this point. But 9 store TP with the 25 kick attacks? Oh, that's amazing. And then they gave him 13 DT. So there's no defensive sacrifice at all. In fact, that's probably your best defensive legs. Magic evasion, not the greatest, but manageable. Yeah, no, these legs are really, really good. Definitely a big win for Monk that they got these legs. The feet, they didn't give them 15 footwork, so unless you just really want 9 DT feet for some reason, I don't see a use for these feet at the moment. The earring. This is an interesting earring. Monk probably would have preferred a 9 PDL earring. They didn't get that, but hand-to-hand skill does a bit more for Monk than it does for most other DDs. So there is that. And then the counter +9. That's a ton of counter in one slot. Now, I mean, if you're trying to DPS, I don't know that you're using these. And obviously, if you use counter stance, you don't need any plus counter at all. But I do enjoy my capped counter without counter stance build for like tanking stuff. And this is going to make that build way, way better. Yeah, I think Monk did pretty well with this set. You got the legs are definite use, the body's definitely going to be used. The earring has some interesting uses, and obviously there will be augments that may or may not dramatically change the use of this earring. And then the hands, I'm pretty sure, are going to be used for a decent number of weapon skills for the PDL. Okay, here we have Ranger. Right now, the body, anytime you're using Velocity Shot, you want to be using this in your pre-shot set. Velocity Shot is amazing. This body is absolutely amazing for that purpose. The legs are, once they have some proper accuracy and attack, I think these legs will be very usable. You've already got the 10 store TP, you've got some true shot on there, you got some critical hit rate. That looks like some nice mid shot legs in the weighting there. The hands, you got bounty shot +2 on them, so that gives you TH4. And you've got store TP +9. It wouldn't take a whole lot for these hands to be usable as well. Unfortunately, the feet, unlimited shot, isn't an ability that's used because it's still tied to double shot. The head, I'm assuming the enmity minus for double shot here bypasses the -50 cap since it says -54. It also probably only applies to the extra shots from double shot if I had to guess. Anyways, doesn't really matter. The heads it's competing with for a mid shot piece, you've got the Relic, which is just crazy strong for TP gain. And you got the SU3, which is crazy strong for white damage. So it's really hard to get into a mid shot set piece for the head. So I doubt the double shot bonus there will ever really be used. Okay, and here's what Ranger pulled out. The head looks useless. Maybe if you lack a proper snapshot head, you'd use it for that. The body, we got 2 more velocity shot. Wonderful. 7 PDL. That's the same amount as the Odyssey piece they have. So, but you're missing out on the TP bonus. I think you get a slightly better stat line with this though. So, maybe you'll use this for weapon skills where you don't care about the TP bonus, or where your TP is full, and you're already going to have the body for the velocity shot anyways. So, that it has a kind of mediocre second use case is fine, because you've already got a really good main use case. The hands, still not enough store TP. You're still behind Malignance. But bounty shot +3. I'm guessing that means you get up to TH5 now with bounty shot off the bat. As I understand, you can theoretically level up your TH using bounty shot as well. So I guess there's a small chance that it still limits you to 4, but then gives you a better chance at leveling it up. But I think it's more likely it probably just gives you +5, gets you to TH5 off the bat, which that's actually kind of a big deal if it works that way, because only Thief otherwise can go above 4. So being able to go consistently to 5 would be pretty nice for a Ranger. And they gave it 10 DT, which I don't think really matters here, since you're probably only using it for bounty shot. These legs are nice. That's more store TP than Malignance. You got the critical hit rate to go with it, and now +6 true shot. So they are trying to push true shot more. Really, they need to adjust the ranges on true shot. The current ranges on true shot are just too hard to really take advantage of in too many situations. and 12 DT on these. So yeah, this is just gonna be an amazing mid shot piece for Ranger. Uh, I mean, there'll probably be some. Well, I don't know. I got to look at, does this even go into the white damage set or not? You got the critical hit rate with it too. Uh, I think if you're in true shot range, I think this does go into the white damage set. And if you're just trying to gain TP, it's really good for that too. So it's better than Malignance. So these are some nice legs. The feet, they put weapon skill damage on the feet. So Nyame actually has really high agility as well on the feet. So I don't think this has enough above Nyame to beat out Nyame. But the +3 will probably be your go-to weapon skill damage feat. So there's that at least. Yeah, no MAB on these, so it's not getting into your elemental weapon skills at all. So probably not good right now, but definitely has potential for the future. Oh, there's another lovely PDL earring. Biggest problem here is, so enmity -9 and PDL +9. Wonderful stat line. Biggest problem here is that you may run into issues of capping your minus enmity. But that just gives you more freedom in other slots. Because that's just so much PDL and enmity minus in an earring slot. Wonderful. Again, does not help your elemental weapon skills at all, but for your physical, this is perfect. And it's even good for things like Savage Blades, so a lot of flexibility in this earring. Okay, here's Samurai. I know I've been seeing a lot of Samurais drooling over what they got, so let's take a look at it. What they have already, obviously see a ton of potential here. You've got large amounts of store TP on the head, the body, and the legs. Legs have the hostile bonus. You only need the hostile bonus from either of these legs or their forget which JSE set their hands has the hostile bonus. You only need one of them to cap out your haste. So we'll get to look at whether these legs, I mean, you've already got a lot of store TP on them, whether these become your go-to hostile piece, then that frees up your hands to do something else. And then you've got Sekinoki bonus with the hands, that's useful. You've got Sengekori, that's a skill chain. So if the feet are good for weapon skills, that might work out well given the stats that are already on there. So anyways, let's take a look. Okay, so starting with the head, so it's up to store TP +11. That's a lot of store TP. They gave it 9 DT. And then you've got the Seigen counter. To me, so I'm assuming the Flama head's going to be better in most circumstances in terms of like pure DPS here. But I mean, for like a defensive piece, this actually looks really good. If you do find yourself needing to run Sagan, you use this head, you've got a ton of DT, you're still getting a bunch of store TP, so you're not even hurting your DPS that much, and you can boost your counter rate. I think there's definitely use cases for this head. It's a very nice defensive piece that still gives you very reasonable TPing stats. So yeah, that looks solid. The body, oh yeah, they gave it 13 DT. Yeah, this looks like a really good body for Samurai. So you've got 13 store TP now, the 14 Zanshin. If you don't know much about Samurai, their Zanshin gets converted into a form of double attack. They get some bonuses when the Zanshin procs, but it procs after the others, so there's some pros and cons with it. But anyways, this equates to some amount of multi-attack as well as a bunch of store TP. Anytime you put those things together, that compounds really well. On top of that, you've got the DT, which makes it a wonderful TP piece. You got the great katana skill. Yeah. Uh, Definitely going to see a lot of samurais TPing in this. Uh, I don't know if maybe samurais have something more glass cannony they can use, but just having such nice defensive stats with it, and it's certainly in competition with whatever their top TP bodies are, and having so much DT on at the same time, it's going to be hard not to use this body, I think. Okay, the hands. Okay, so you have the hands, the weapon skill damage bonus, uh, and you've got this Sekinoki you're already using it for. Only 19 strength here. So it's probably not beating out Niame for your weapon skills at the moment, but stay tuned for the +3 there. And I think you'll still want to use it for the second Oki. So there's still a use case there. The legs. So 10 store TP with the 10 DT, and you've got the Hasa. Again, really nice defensive TP piece, and and if you use it, it frees up your hand slot to go with something better there as well. So, we'll have to run the numbers, figure out if you're better off using these legs or those other hands. But I suspect at least when you're trying to do defensive sets, I think you're definitely leaning towards these legs. Just because, again, you get that nice, huge amount of DT. Magic evasion isn't amazing, but it's fine. Yeah, no, those are solid. The feet, they gave 7 PDL to the feet. Samurai actually doesn't have a lot of PDL. So, especially given the other bonuses you have here that help out weapon skills a little bit more tangentially. Yeah, I think you'll probably be using these for at least some weapon skills. When you're attack capped. So, yeah, no, these are solid feet. I don't know that I would have asked for any other stat line on these. So, maybe weapon skill damage, but PDL might be even better. So, yeah, no, these are good. And then the earring, they did not get a 9 PDL earring, which they could have used. But you got store TP +9 on an earring slot. You don't have any negative stats with it either. So that's really good. I don't love the skill chain bonus with it, because I think you're going to TP in the store TP +9 earring. I don't know that the skill chain bonus +7 is enough to be worth weapon skilling in these. I mean, obviously the augments might change that, but I think alone it's probably not enough. And also with Nyama, you'll already have a decent amount of skill chain bonus, so you don't quite gain as much when you already have a decent amount. All the pieces for Samurai are pretty solid. I don't know that any of them are super game changing for him, but they're all going to be used. I mean, you got some really nice TP pieces. The thing I really like here, I mean, look, so you've got DT on a TP piece. You got DT on a TP piece. You got DT on a TP piece. You put PDL on a weapon skill piece. And you put weapon skill damage on a weapon skill piece. So all these pieces make sense. I really like that. Okay, next we have Thief. So few things to note here. Obviously you got TH on the feet. I do end up wearing these a decent amount when I'm soloing NMs and such to try to keep leveling up my TH. I would like some defensive stats on these, because right now it kind of hurts to wear them. It gets risky sometimes. So I would like defensive stats so that I can comfortably wear them and not worry about taking too much damage. There are, of course, much better feet for doing damage in the feet slot, so it'd be kind of a waste to try to turn these into a damage dealing pair. I use them for TH. I just want to have defensive stats to go with it. I think that would be perfect. The hands are sneak attack hands. Give them proper stat line, and we'll use them for sneak attacks. That's fine. The body, the conspirator bonus is actually really strong, like really strong, especially if you're in a large group. So, and it primarily helps you with TP gain. You basically want to TP in these when conspirator is active. Once they have some proper other stats. So, if they can make a TP piece out of the body, that would be perfect. The head, I mean, it has some triple attack, but it would take a lot to beat out what you already have for like damage dealing head. I actually don't like the plus accomplice and collaborator, unless I'm trying to tank on thief. Usually, though, I'm just trying to share a little bit of hate off someone who's done too much, or maybe I accidentally trick attacked them or something. Um, so, in those scenarios, I'd rather just take a small percentage of their hate and not try to take like half their hate, because that on top of however much hate I have is going to be too much. Then I'm having to tank. So unless I'm trying to tank, I don't really want to be boosting these further. So I guess I should note the despoil on the legs boosts your chance of it landing, and on the feet, the despoil effect boosts the potency of it when it lands. Just to keep that straight. The set bonus here is actually pretty strong. It, I guess, it's just like a small chance of when a triple attack happens that it triples the damage of all 3 attacks. So that sounds amazing. If this becomes a set that you can TP in. So let's check it out. So here's what we got. The head they gave 7 PDL to, but Thief has Gleddies, and they boost the Accomplice and Collaborator even more, which I mean, I guess if you're looking to like tank on Thief, it's useful for that, but otherwise I'm not really looking for that. The body, they put weapon skill damage on the body, so we're not getting synergy with the Conspirator. But with those stat lines, I think when Conspirator is active, you will still TP in this body. And then it has such high dex and agility. Yeah, you're probably weapon skilling in this body as well for the weapon skills that care about weapon skill damage. So yeah. It actually has 2 solid use cases. They don't really synergize with each other, but I mean, they're both independently good, so yeah, that's a solid body. The hands, they threw a bunch of DT on them, sure. I guess that frees you up to be extra aggressive in your sneak attack builds. So sure. The legs, oh, they boosted the despoil rate a bit more, and they gave you a bunch of DT. I think you're only using these legs for despoil. A little disappointing. The feet. Oh, we're up to TH4 now. Okay, so I mean, you probably already have capped TH, but it's that much easier to cap it out now. I'm not going to get into the debate of does having above the cap TH increase your proc rate of leveling your TH or not. I don't know. I'm not looking to try to test that anytime soon. Even the testing I've seen, it's difficult to parse through and figure out exactly what it means. So, yeah, that's kind of a mess. And it boosts despoil even more. Okay, and oh, perfect. They put the DT on the feet. So that's exactly what I wanted. Perfect for the feet. So the feet and the body look really good here. Hands do, what we would have expected. Okay, and now the earring. 5 triple attack on an earring. Perfect. Subtle blow. Okay. One of my pet peeves about Thief is all the other dual wield jobs were given a ton of subtle blow traits because obviously they need them, otherwise they feed way too much TP. Well, Thief was given dual wield like after the fact. and they never got the subtle blow traits. So their subtle blow is really low, and thieves end up feeding ridiculous amounts of TP. So anytime you can just throw a little bit extra subtle blow on a thief, I appreciate it. So uh, this earring is great. Uh, Obviously, 5 triple attack. You didn't even need any other stats. This was going to be an amazing earring. This will be used obviously for TP. It'll also be used for certain weapon skills. So great earring. Okay, next up we have Warrior. I believe this is the last job of this video. In terms of what we're looking for here, uh, the legs has the fencer bonus. Although keep in mind, Warrior already has so much fencer, they only need +3 fencer to cap out their fencer. And you're already using, if you're doing a fencer build, presumably you're going to be using the blurred shield +1. And you're probably using your +2 neck. So you've already got 2 out of the 3 fencer covered there. There are some hands you can use that have plus fencer. It's debatable already whether you even use those, because the last fencer is the smallest bonus. And so, these legs, you really don't need +2 fencer on them. So we'll see what they do with these. But we do, of course, hope there'll be something good for weapon skilling in, so that we can at least use the one fencer at least on them. And it may free up down the line other options for shield and neck to weapon skill in. So here's what Warrior got. The head, I mean, you're competing with Sakpatas. I don't think you're beating it, other than if you really need extra DT. Obviously for TPing, it doesn't stand a chance. Maybe for some crit weapon skills, but also keep in mind you're giving up PDL then. It might sneak into some crit weapon skills, but that's about the only use case I'm seeing for that head, and I'm not confident it'll make it. The body, 10 store TP is nice, and 13 DT. Always love to see store TP with DT. Extra blood rage duration, sure. So the question is, do you TP in this body or not? Because obviously you use it for blood rage, but if you're going to use it for something else, it would be for TPing in. I mean, it's basically in line with the Odin body, but you're missing the crit rate. But you get some haste. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it basically depends, does that haste do something for you with the rest of the set? And it might. So they gave weapon skill damage to the hands, sort of thing. But you've also got Nyame. Is this going to beat out Nyame? It only has 19 strength on these, though it does have a ton of vitality and dex. So it's probably going to vary weapon skill to weapon skill as to if this is better than Nyame or not. Finally, they've made it fencer +3 on legs. So these legs will single-handedly cap out your fencer on Warrior. And they gave them PDL. So these actually have the same double attack and PDL as the Sakpata legs, but you've got the fencer bonus. So if you're taking advantage of the fencer bonus, these are probably what you use for weapon skilling then. If you're not taking advantage of the fencer bonus, you're either using the Sakpatas, which is basically the same stat line, but you get the skill chain bonus, or possibly Nyame if you'd rather have weapon skill damage. Okay, I mean, that's decent. Again, I know a lot of people are probably like, ooh, fencer +3. People tend to get all excited about plus fencer, but the problem is it caps out. So they could have just as easily written this as fencer +1 at the moment. I don't think it would have made a difference. Although, again, it does provide flexibility down the line. They could always, in an update, add more tiers of fencer, or they could provide other shields or necks that you might want a weapon skill in, so that it matters again that this has fencer +3 on it. Okay, the feet. Yeah, let's boost up retaliation even more. Okay. More critical hit damage. Uh, these are almost certainly going to be used for some critical hit weapon skills, just because that's a lot of critical hit damage, especially for a feat slot. And 9DT. 9DT does go nicely with retaliation. So if you're trying to uh, do some shenanigans with retaliation, these feet are going to be very solid. And then they're probably going to be used for some crit weapon skills. I'm not going to go through the like 10 different weapons that are viable on Warrior. But just say, yeah, there will be some weapon skills that you'll want to use this for. Okay. Earring, 9 double attack, and then some subtle blow. Okay. Again, I like subtle blow, so 7 subtle blow on an earring's pretty good. Especially an earring you'd probably want to TP in, which you'll probably want to TP in this. You will have to be careful though. You only want to reach 100% double attack. More than that is a complete waste. So, using this earring, you'll probably have to cut out some double attack in other slots. It's fine. It's probably for the best, but it will mean you'll have to retool things around a bit. I mean, it's a lot of power to put 9 double attack on a single earring slot. So, yeah, I think Warrior did fairly well here. The legs are probably going to be used at least some of the time for weapon skilling. The feet will be used for some weapon skills. The hands will be used for some weapon skills. The body is a reasonable option for TP. Struggles to really get ahead of the Odin body, I think, but there's pros and cons to each. And if the 3 haste here lets you get a bunch of extra multi-attack or something somewhere else, then it's worth it. So yeah, I mean it's solid. And I do like, once again, lots of DT pieces. Warrior did fine. I mean, there are other jobs that definitely came away with more, but it did fine. Thanks for making it to the end of another one of my videos. I do put timestamps in the description if there's a specific job you want to get to. Part 3 should be out tomorrow, and I think that's it. So I'll see you next time.